Thank you.
I can't fix it though now. I fixed it before.
The one behind us?
Yeah. Check one. Live from the CSI Soccer Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island. CSI Sportsnet is proud to welcome you into coverage of College of Staten Island women's soccer. Today, it's the CSI Dolphins taking on the John Jay College Bloodhounds in continued play within the CUNYAC. That doesn't count towards the conference standings, but, Joe, it's the Dolphins' final CUNY matchup or matchup against the CUNY team. I'm David Pizzuto, Joe Foreman to my right. Welcome aboard CSI Women's Soccer.
And we're very excited about today's matchup. Both teams coming in unbeaten against CUNYAC opponents. The Dolphins have been perfect against the CUNYAC thus far. This is their last conference matchup of the season. The Bloodhounds have two more conference matchups to go. They're 4-0, but they enter today's matchup with CSI, perfect in the conference as well. Something has to give in this rematch of the 2018 CUNYAC Championship.
Yeah, and these two teams with a lot of familiarity against one another. They usually play once a year. Joe, they played twice last year, and they met up, just like you mentioned, in the conference championship. The Dolphins won a wild game. They got ahead early, won the game 6-2. And the John Jay College Bloodhounds have been looking for revenge ever since, and they've been running roughshod over the CUNY so far. They were one of the preseason favorites coming in, and with the CSI out of the tournament picture for the postseason, leaves the door kind of wide open for John Jay. This will be their biggest CUNY litmus test so far this year.
And I think they're certainly coming into this matchup with a little bit of extra juice behind it. The College of Staten Island, of course, transitioning into NCAA Division II. That will come with membership in the East Coast Conference. The Dolphins, as you mentioned, Dave, not a part of CUNYAC championship play this year, but you know that John Jay, as you mentioned, the favorite in the CUNYAC tournament, entering the 2019 tournament, which will get underway in about a week or two. They come into the College of Staten Island today hoping for a big victory over the Dolphins. Of course, the Dolphins not being a part of that tournament, this will be the only shot the Bloodhounds get to take down CSI this year, and you can bet they're looking forward to that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. The Dolphins, too, Joe, want to be able to exit their 2019 season, at least against CUNY opponents, perfect, and leaving CUNY that way as well, knowing all season long that they didn't have a postseason to play for. The best that they could possibly do is defend their four-time defending CUNY championship with a perfect run through the CUNY. They've looked really good in their previous games against CUNY competition, including a 1-0 win on Saturday, a game that they were statistically dominant in against Brooklyn College. Only won the game 1-0, but they're looking to stay perfect here this afternoon.
Well, you mentioned that 1-0 victory over Brooklyn. With that 1-0 victory, the Dolphins' scoring differential against CUNYAC opponents this year moves to 22-1. The Bloodhounds entered this matchup with CSI with a scoring differential of 25-1. So both teams have had tremendous success, that scoring differential against CUNYAC opponents this year for both sides. But the Dolphins and Bloodhounds have both had tremendous success against CUNY competition this year. The Dolphins hope to continue that here this afternoon at the College of Staten Island on their home turf. They have one more home game to go after this. We'll celebrate Senior Day this Saturday, but a big matchup with the Bloodhounds looming here today ahead of that final game of the season on Saturday against NYU.
Yeah, just a couple of things of note, Joe. It's been a scoring by committee for the Dolphins this season. Mirsada Palinkovic, Sam Laval, Amber Mitchell, they're all at the top of the table regarding goal scorers, but the Dolphins will once again be without one of their leading scorers, Samantha Laval, in this one. John Jay counters with the defending CUNY Rookie of the Year in Katie Healy, probably an odds-on favorite to win Player of the Year this year. She comes in with 13 goals and 8 assists. If you want to stop the Bloodhounds, you have to stop her.
You certainly do, and you mentioned Samantha Laval for the Dolphins. 6 goals in 6 games for her, but Healy has been tremendous for John Jay. You mentioned the 13 goals and 8 assists for Healy, but she's one of only 4 Bloodhounds who's found the back of the net at least 5 times this season. Kimberly Robledo, Medina Mulick, and Jillian Golden have all scored at least 5 goals thus far. Even more impressive than that, 15 different Bloodhounds have scored a goal this season, so a lot of offensive firepower on this John Jay College team. The College of Staten Island will have a big task in front of them defensively to try and slow that down.
Yeah, John Jay has played 3 more games than the Dolphins have this season, but they have scored 51 goals. Part of that, tremendous offensive attack so far this season. By contrast, the Dolphins have 19 less goals than John Jay has this season. The Dolphins have allowed 22 in 12 games. John Jay has allowed a comparable 27 in the 3 extra games that they've played. But statistically, a very even matchup, Joe. On paper, a very even matchup. We know that John Jay's improved from last season. We know these two teams met in the CUNY final. So by all accounts, we're expecting a very, very good 90 minutes today.
And there's no reason not to. Take a look back at that CUNYAC championship matchup last year. The Dolphins really exploded on the attack in that game, coming away with 6 goals. It was a very convincing Dolphins victory. Got out in front in that one very early and never looked back. The Bloodhounds are looking to set a different script here in this one today at the College of Staten Island. That game in the CUNYAC championship was played at Brooklyn College, and we're just a few moments away from the introduction of starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem. So we'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we will have the starting lineups for both sides. This is exclusive coverage of NCAA women's soccer on CSI Sportsnet. Dolphins and Bloodhounds coming up next.
Junior from Oceanside, California, number 4, Kristalina.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
am. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words. Playing world music. What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Welcome back to the CSI Soccer Complex here, the campus of the College of Staten Island. It's time to look at today's starting lineups, and for that, we'll go to Joe Foreman. Joe?
All right, thank you, Dave. In goal for the Bloodhounds will be number 29, Erica Estro. The rest of the starters for John Jay in numerical order: number 4, Cristalina Banuelos; number 5, Yamari Cordero; number 6, Allison Santos; number 9, Annalise Tucci; number 10, Medina Mulick; number 11, Jillian Golden; number 13, Katie Healy; number 16, Cynthia Madrid; number 18, Jamie Bellotti; and number 23, Kimberly Robledo. For the College of Staten Island, in goal is 0, Samantha Boudreau. The rest of the starters for the Dolphins in numerical order: number 1, Callie Long; number 5, Rebecca Deloya; number 7, Leanne DeRosa; number 8, Nermina Bracic; number 13, Elizabeth Aparicio; number 18, Natalia Sandor; number 19, Amber Mitchell; number 22, Gabrielle Churko; number 24, Mersada Palinkovic; and number 28, Jordan Yagos.
All right, so pretty familiar lineup for the Bloodhounds. The Dolphins switching things up a little bit. No Nicole Mignon in the starting lineup today. She's been starting the last couple of games for CSI, but otherwise pretty familiar lineups for both teams. Joe, the weather has been good all season long. Today the wind could be a little bit of a factor. Right now the flag is down, but when it is blowing, it's blowing from right to left. It looks like that's the direction that CSI will go going in the first half. So if a team's going to have the benefits of the wind, as now it's traveling from left to right, it'll be swirling. One team will have a clear advantage.
Well, it's never wise to underestimate the impact of the wind here at the CSI Soccer Complex, especially for our baseball games. We've seen the wind play tricks on outfielders, but it carries the soccer ball. It helps you drive the ball a bit further. Mersada Palinkovic, we know, has a very big leg, and giving her an extra bit of an assist with the wind could allow her to drain a shot from a good distance away. We've seen her knock down several long shots over the course of her 2-year career with the Dolphins. You mentioned during the pregame, she is one of CSI's 3 leading goal scorers, second on the team in assists as well. A player CSI has been able to rely on. She has started every game this season. I believe she may be the only Dolphin with that distinction so far in 2019, but Palinkovic has been a staple in the starting lineup. She's once again in there today, despite the lack of familiarity with some of those starters around her.
Joe mentioned the goal keeping and how they'll have to be alert here. John Jay has a 2-headed goalkeeping monster. It'll be Erica Estro who gets the start today. She has played in 9 games. She's allowed 10 goals. She's got a 1.65 goals against, a 643 save percentage. She's made 18 saves. The leader in that category is number 0, Brittany Shaneberger, who does not get the start today. The Dolphins go with Samantha Boudreau in between the sticks. She has played 11 of the 12 games for the Dolphins, has made 48 saves, and has a .686 save percentage. So both goalkeepers will have to be on their toes as well. And we are underway. Dolphins with the opening tap, and they start from within their own end of the field, going from right to left, as we mentioned, their home white jerseys, John Jay in the complete Navy uniforms, top to bottom. And they get their first touch here of the game, but it comes back over to Lisbeth Aparicio, and Aparicio now looking towards the sideline in the direction of Mitchell, is broken up. And first ball out of play belongs to John Jay near midfield.
And we've seen a lot of early goals scored in the Dolphins games so far here at home this year. The games we've covered on Sportsnet, we've seen York get out in front of CSI early. We've seen CSI jump out in front in other games early as well. It'll be interesting to see which team gets on the scoreboard first and really sets the tone in this one. You know John Jay will be looking to do so after the Dolphins did that in the CUNYAC Championship back in October.
Yeah, and that was former senior captain Lauren Smith. It was her first ever multi-goal game. She ended up scoring a hat trick and 2 goals, Joe, I believe, in the opening 10 minutes of the game. Really set the tone for the rest of the way in that final.
I should correct myself. That was back in November of last year. It's seen time go by so fast.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like a year since that CUNYAC championship.
And the 6 goals that the Dolphins scored in that championship game were the most ever by a CUNY team in a CUNY championship. The Dolphins certainly had the offensive force going in that one. They led 3-0 at the half, and John Jay added a goal late in the first half to make it interesting, but it was a game that belonged to CSI. Notice on your screen our cameras at a real acute angle, Joe, and that has a lot to do with the wind playing tricks during the pregame of our camera stand. We'll try to get that fixed for you during halftime at some point.
I can promise the viewers it was not like that just about a half hour ago.
Right. Battle of attrition in the middle of the field here. Neither team really gaining. And offside was Yagos, and she was shoulder to shoulder with Nermina Bracic about 10 yards apart. They were both offside for the Dolphins. Reminder that the time on your screen is official time will be kept on the field. We'll mention that from time to time, especially as we get stoppages in this one. For the Dolphins, they seek to go over 500 with this game here today. They've been perfect against CUNY schools that play in Division III. They did lose to CUNY Queens College, member of the ECC, a team that the Dolphins will be facing from here on out once a year. Deloya, quick first touch over to Pelinkovic. She turns towards the offensive end, but seeing it out of bounds was Mulick. Plays it backwards to Cordero. A couple of quick touches again by Mulick. Back to Cordero. Dolphins putting heavy pressure in the midfield, but Mulick is able to move to her left. And now a quick strike inside John Jay's end, coming all the way out to play it, and that's going to be a red card. Oh, possibly a yellow, I'm sorry, or a red, as the last defender was there. That could have went either way, Joe. It'll be a yellow on Estro.
It certainly could have gone either way. And fortunately for John Jay, you mentioned a tandem of goalkeepers on the roster that have seen significant time if that had been a red card. But fortunately for them, only a yellow. The Dolphins will have a free kick opportunity from deep within the attacking third, and it is Mirsada Pelinkovic lining up to take that free kick.
Yeah, and she's been deadly from this range as well. And, Joe, if that was a defender who made the tackle from behind, that would have been an instant red. Instead, it was Estro who came to meet it and made maybe an attempt at the ball there, but that could have been a very dangerous situation. In any event, the Dolphins will have a chance here with Pelinkovic. Steps into it. Right-footed kick is above frame and wide of the net.
Well, the wind was blowing from near sideline to far sideline when that free kick was taken. I had my eye on the flag.
And John Jay defensively, Joe, has really kind of using their offside trap, but when it doesn't work, it can be very dangerous and spring some odd man rushes. So we'll see how John Jay decides to play it the rest of the way as Callie Long controls in the midfield. Again, the Dolphins look to go over top. Bracic was about 4 yards offside, and that was an easy one. We could see that from here.
Not even sure Bracic had retreated back fully following that free kick yet, and she was caught off sides on that long ball, but that ball was on target. Don't think Bracic would have had a chance to get to it, however, had she been on sides.
It's a good job of coaching, though, by the CSI coaching staff, recognizing how John Jay is playing defensively, really pressing in the defensive zone. Dolphins want to go over top of that. As Mulick will get a one-touch, tries to cross it straight across switch fields. Lands onto the boot of Healy, who gives it a long ride, but well out of play. No threat there. But the Dolphins will certainly have to keep their eye on Healy. She leads John Jay with 13 goals on 49 shots. The 49 shots actually does not lead the team. The shot leader is Medina Mulick, who got that initial cross. She has 50 shots. Sandor with some space, playing it over to DeRosa, who's played well as she's gotten more minutes here the back half of the season. Played one off of Mulick, has to get it back. Tries to play it into space. Sandor comes up with it, drops off to Bracic. Bracic continues to play down the line, but that one's out of play.
And that passing by the Bloodhounds on that last attacking sequence, very strong, nearly created an opportunity for themselves, but that ball was floated high and wide. No chance to score on that particular shot, but they put themselves in a good position to score, and if they continue to find space in that area of the field, it could spell some trouble for the Dolphins.
Mitchell with one of her first touches of this one. Callie Long losing it as she was double-teamed in the midfield. Jillian Golden tries to thread one through the middle, can't do it. DeRosa, the only one there for Staten Island. Plays it towards the midfield stripe. Pinballs around. Bracic with a quick first touch. And that one goes out of play. Last touch by Cordero. Actually off of Bracic, they call that one. Dolphins get it back anyway. Yagos, bad touch on that one. And Pelinkovic is able just to dump into the John Jay zone. Now it's a foot race there as Santos locked in with Bracic. Santos, good first touch. Spills it over to her right. Starts to work it up the pitch. Healy played it too strong. Sandor going 1v1 versus Healy. They continue to battle, and Healy spilled.
Very physical play there right around the midfield between Sandor and Healy. Healy getting the better of it, though. She did take a tumble. When it was over, her team wins possession.
Mulick controls, splits two defenders, and coming hard with Sandor, splits her as well. And John Jay is going to get the benefits of the call there. They wanted to play advantage rule on that, Joe, but Mulick got tripped up.
DeLoya was able to retrieve that ball, putting an end to any possibility of an advantage, but still a good position to take a free kick from. We'll see what John Jay looks to set up here, as lining up over the ball is Annalise Tucci.
Yeah, Tucci, one of the taller players in the team, not in the box but taking it, and that one's first headed by DeLoya. Nice job there, but it ends up onto the foot of Mulick, who puts it over the bar and out of play. That was going wide anyway, but a good chance for John Jay.
Good opportunity once again for the Bloodhounds, as they've had two shots from in close. Neither of them came particularly close to finding the back of the net. One sailed well high and wide. That one looked like it may have wound up high and wide as well. It traveled across the goal mouth and over the upper right corner of the frame.
That's a goal kick that Bracic saves from going out of play, but John Jay with a heavy touch near midfield, and CSI will get it back. Should mention that today is Breast Cancer Awareness Day for the CSI women's soccer team. They're selling pink breast cancer awareness t-shirts, all in the name of the Staten Island Breast Cancer Research Initiative. So if you're out here at the field, make sure you pick up one of those t-shirts, commemorative t-shirts that the Dolphins are selling, all for a great cause.
And I would be very impressed. We have fans out here at the field listening to our broadcast at the same time, coming with the tailgate set up and maybe a TV or a tablet in the back seat.
Well, you know, it does happen. Joe Masha has done that from time to time, I believe.
He certainly has.
Broadcast engineer. He's like the eye in the sky. He's always watching us.
Always. He has those push notifications enabled.
Mitchell, quick inside give to Bracic, but Bracic for the second time is caught offside. Good idea for the Dolphins, but coaching staff urging Nermina Bracic to check the line. She's been caught offside a couple times. DeRosa, touch in the back, gives over to Sandor. Sandor played it off of Pelinkovic Turnover for the Dolphins. They get it back over to Mulick. Mulick continues with the dribble, tries to play it across the middle. DeLoya was there. Short, quick touches here for John Jay as they like to play. Joe, it's seemingly 5 to 10 yards at a time.
They haven't moved the ball off the field quickly, but when they've had opportunities beyond the midfield stripe, they've made the most of them, turning those chances into shots. Unfortunately for them, neither of those shots on target.
Turnover that time by Cynthia Madrid. Center midfielder for John Jay. Amber Mitchell with a quick first touch. Looks to thread it to Yagos. Yagos looking for an overlapping Aparicio. She got over the ball there. Fell down. Gets a second chance at it. Battling with the defense. Putting one across. And there was Nermina Bracic just wide. As that came in pretty hot, Joe. But a great individual effort by Lisbeth Aparicio. Gets up a little slowly after all of that. She looks to be okay.
She looks fine, and she recovered nicely with a great ball across the box. Found Bracic in prime scoring position, as we will get another look at that play. And Bracic sending one over the netting behind goal. That's tough to do from that far in.
Yeah, you could tell that pass was coming in really hot. And Bracic, sure she would have liked to have cut inside just a little bit on that, but did the best she could there. That was probably CSI's best chance of these first 12 minutes. Officially, no shots on goal so far in the game, and rushes have been pretty even throughout as the Dolphins with a big turnover here. This is Mulick looking to go 1v1 against DeRosa, tries to put one on net. It was broken up by DeLoya via the block. Dolphins now getting numbers back. Mulick continues to work hard. Foul called against Mulick.
A very physical start to this game thus far. We've seen a lot of back and forth wrestling for the ball, players shouldering one another off the ball. We've already seen a yellow card assessed to the Bloodhounds on what would have been a tremendous scoring opportunity for the Dolphins. Almost a necessity in that situation.
And John Jay almost exclusively using the right side of the field, their right attacking side of the field, to do most of their rushes, all funneling through Mulick, as now they come right up the middle of the pitch. Quick give and go that time. The Dolphins do well to just spill it out, bring numbers back.
Dolphins have had a couple of strong rushes, one resulting in a free kick, the second in that shot opportunity for Bracic, which sailed high. But outside of that, the ball has been primarily to our right or in the midfield at the very least. But John Jay, as you mentioned, Dave, methodically moving the ball up the field 5 to 10 yards at a time. The Dolphins have looked to connect on the long ball so far, and as a result, John Jay has controlled possession through the first 13 minutes plus.
And that one is spilled out. Dolphins taking that one as John Jay elects to play balls near the middle of the field, just electing to spill it out. As now they work it towards the corner. DeRosa playing it up the line. Misplayed by Cordero. John Jay College, the preseason CUNY favorite, coming in to take the title away or assume it away from the Dolphins, who have won the CUNY championship 4 years in a row. Dolphins, of course, in their move to NCAA Division II, have forfeited their rights, obviously, to Division III postseason and to Division II postseason for the next 3 years. And that leaves the door open, Joe. And we've seen many of the CUNY schools that we've played right here on this field. And most all teams, perhaps with the exception of Medgar Evers, who the Dolphins defeated soundly, really an open call for that championship.
And taking a look down the line, some of the home CUNYAC games the Dolphins have played this year. The first was against York. I referenced it during the pregame. York jumped out to an early 1-0 lead. From that point forward, it was all Dolphins. CSI got even in that game just minutes later and then coasted to the finish with the 3-goal victory, 4-1. And then in the second match played here at the CSI Soccer Complex against CUNYAC competition, the Dolphins defeated Lehman 5-0. And the really close game, you referenced it, on the road against Brooklyn in their last matchup. CSI getting a goal in the 59th minute by Jordan Yagos. Ultimately the game winner, the only score of the game, but a massive discrepancy in the shot total between the two sides. Massive advantage for the Dolphins statistically.
And there's a threading ball right through the middle of the field. Again, it'll end up near the top of the box. And it was Estro who had to come all the way out to meet it. That's a good job there by Erica to come out of her goal mouth immediately and to meet that ball before the Dolphin attack could be there. There were 2 Dolphins bearing down.
Estro's been very aggressive coming off her line and charging the ball whenever she's seen opportunities to do so, not wanting to allow the Dolphins any potential for a one-on-one opportunity against her in goal, cutting those chances off before they develop.
Yeah, and you could see the wave of the defense moving for John Jay. Immediately, once they get possession, trying to get the Dolphins back offside. Meanwhile, played near the corner flag, Mulick has her would-be cross sent down by DeRosa, but this will be, I'm not sure if it's going to be a throw-in or a corner here. And it will be a corner kick for John Jay. And it will be Mulick to take it, number 10. And that one's a line drive right in the heart of the goal mouth, headed out by the Dolphins originally. Now played back into the goal mouth. It's allowed to hit some real estate there, but Sandor is there after the clearance from Deloya near midfield. 50-50 ball. Initially won by John Jay, giving it a run towards the sideline. It was Bonelos, but it does spill out of bounds after a CSI touch. And now again, Deloya tried to put one over top of the defense. That time it looked like Bracic was onside. Dolphins again put one straight up in the air. It's Yagos bearing down. 1 attacker, 2 defenders. John Jay gets the initial poke at it. This is Bracic. Bracic looking to play across to Yagos. Yagos gets some separation, tries to put one over, and it goes over everything as she just tried to baby one over Estro and got too much of a touch on it, Joe.
Oh, she certainly put it over, Dave, over everything. As you mentioned, over the net, behind goal, meant to keep the ball in play. And on that last sequence, Mirsada Pelinkovic appeared to take a ball off the hand and maybe jammed her wrist. She immediately went for the wrist when the ball made contact with her, as we get another look at that shot by Yagos. And I mentioned before that Erica Estro looking to cut off those potential one-on-one chances against her in goal. Dolphins had one right there, and Yagos couldn't convert.
Yeah, so the Dolphins have yet to put one on goal against Estro, although they've had 2 or 3 now quality opportunities. DeRosa plays one down onto the foot of Sandor. She tries to reverse field, can't do it. Mulick got a quick touch. This will go out of bounds. John Jay will reset here as we are 18 minutes into this first half of play. No score between John Jay and Staten Island. No shots on goal yet, but it's been an entertaining one thus far. Sandor once again looking to go through the defense. That time John Jay's up to task. Played it back to Mulick. Mulick working more now near the center of the pitch. Aparicio clears towards midfield. Bearing down on it was Pelinkovic. This is for Bracic. Bracic is onside. And no, she's not. Late flag went up. And, Joe, that time, as soon as that ball was released, my eyes were firmly affixed on the linesman across the way, and that flag went up awful late.
Well, it was a play that took place right in front of us. Bracic began that run right in front of our position, just beyond midfield, and the whistle did come in late. As you mentioned, Bracic was a good distance into the attacking third when the whistle blew, but that's the second offsides call against Bracic as it stands, and John Jay will take possession.
Yeah, Dolphins have been whistled for quite a number of offsides. I believe that's 4 or maybe even 5 here, as John Jay now finally attacking from that left side. Almost punched that one into the box, forcing the Dolphins to clear immediately. You can see here near midfield where we are, Mike. It's off your screen, but Jordan Yagos is the only CSI player really in these parts.
Well, Dave, you've done it for the first time today.
What's that?
Call me Mike.
Oh, I did. Okay. Well, I'm due for at least 2 more. The under-over's 3. I'm still in the under.
All
so
right.
We're in good shape.
It's a long afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. Popped over again by the defense. CSI being very deliberate when John Jay entering their zone. Want to make sure all of their players are where they need to be. Now one's popped into the goal mouth again. Falling bodies. Boudreau got there for a bit of a punch. Dolphins do the rest to punch it out. Looking for a streaking Madrid now near the corner flag. She's able to catch up to it before it goes out of bounds. Tried to get it through DeRosa, but it is out past the goal line. So this will be another corner kick here for John Jay, and it'll be Mulick again, Joe, taking it.
And the last corner kick was taken into a not-so-dangerous position far outside of that far post, which would be the left post if you're looking at the screen from, or I should say at the field from our perspective, but the ball was then played in front into a very dangerous spot and fired over the top of goal. So Bloodhounds have been able to turn their first corner into an opportunity, looking to do so again here.
This one ends up all the way near Mulick again, but she sees it out of bounds, so she'll reset things here via the throw-in. John Jay has kind of owned possession here for the last 3 or 4 minutes in CSI's end, as we have a whistle and another one going out of bounds. Last touch by the Dolphins. And this one is able to find the box. Dolphins initially clear. Pelinkovic sends up further in the direction of Yagos, and Yagos going to get whistled for a foul as she was working 1v1 against Santos. Another set-piece opportunity here for the Bloodhounds. It'll be Tucci. Tucci sends one top of the box. It's spilling around. Offside flag was up. Either way, the Dolphins have possession as Boudreau will walk it up towards the top of the box. And the long, high punt ends up on John Jay's side of the field. They allow it to bounce. Nobody there for the Dolphins as it continues to get headed back in the direction of Estro. She's able to meet it.
I should mention that punt by Boudreau, a good one, set the Dolphins up for a potential scoring chance right there, but she was punting that ball out of goal against the wind as well, so Boudreau really getting a lot behind that and nearly creating a scoring chance for Jordan Yagos.
So now John Jay looking to reset offensively. Tough play that time by Deloya, but she's able to send it up to Pelinkovic. Pelinkovic looking in the direction of Bracic. Offside flag was down, and Bracic looking to catch up to it. Playing it back to Pelinkovic. Sandor now all the way back with it in the direction of DeRosa. She has to protect that defensive line because the Dolphins don't have a lot of numbers back there. Coming away with it now is Golden. Golden tried to swing it to her left, couldn't do so. Aparicio looking middle of the field in the direction of Mitchell. Mitchell's going to give it a ride, and it's a skipper that comes in on Estro. She's able to make the easy save. First save of the game for the goalkeeper.
Nearly a costly turnover in the midfield there by the Bloodhounds. Aparicio with an easy interception on that ball, and that set up Mitchell for a scoring chance. And judging by the velocity behind that ball, I thought perhaps she was trying to tap it over to Yagos, or at least direct the pass toward Yagos, but instead it was easily saved by Estro.
21 and a half minutes officially left here in the first half. And after the long reset here, Yomari Cordero will do the honors. Played it back. That's a kind of a dangerous back play as John Jay continues to play it backwards. And Estro, who can't touch it, has to just spill it. She can touch this one, though, if she chooses to, and she does.
You said it, Dave. It was certainly dangerous to play the ball backwards right there as Bracic nearly got a step and was able to run that one down. Fortunately, there was enough behind it that Estro was able to retrieve it in the box.
Another one that's popped over everything and into the lower 18. Estro the only one there for John Jay, so they're able to play it cleanly. A couple of quick touches in the back now. Again, John Jay a little bit taking a lot of chances there, playing it across the line of their defense. It's eventually turned over. Pelinkovic tried to thread one across. No one home for the Dolphins as John Jay sends it up now. Banuelos had the first foot on it. Continues to go back and forth. Churko sends one sky high. Mitchell is in the area with Banuelos. She got the first touch on it. Quick touch by Robledo. Played it backwards in direction of Healy, and now we have a substitution. First one of the game for either team, and it will be Nicole Mignon coming in. And looks like John Jay will get themselves a substitution as well. Alexandria Daddario will come in. Callie Long comes out for the Dolphins. And 23.
That would be Kimberly Robledo.
Joe, one of the things you notice first 25 minutes of the first half is very few touches for Katie Healy in the middle. The star power for the John Jay Bloodhounds offensively really hasn't had the ball at her feet often at all.
She certainly has, and the Dolphins should be happy about that because John Jay has had the ball down around the box quite a bit, have gotten a couple of shots off in from close range, neither of those on goal, and the Dolphins happy about that as well because they did get a couple of opportunities from very close range, looking for another right here.
Yeah, that was a foot race that time, but DeLoya was the first one there. She's able to spill it over to Aparicio. She was looking in the direction of Mitchell, losing it to Banuelos, out of bounds. Banuelos will get it back here for John Jay, about 25 yards away from goal. Working towards the goal line. That one is spilled out of play, so this will be a goal kick for the Dolphins, and the John Jay will get another substitution in as Nina Mena will come in. So Mena will come in to replace number 18, Jamie Bellotti. So John Jay now has made 2 substitutions. The Dolphins 1. Once again, CSI looking to go over top of the defense. A lot of bodies coming together. Bracic looked to get a foot on it, though. Was interrupted by the defense. Still playing it is Tucci off the head, out of bounds. 5 yards at a time they go up the pitch, but John Jay able to play it all the way out towards midfield. That's a poor touch by Churko, out of bounds. But John Jay gets to put some more blue jerseys up the field.
In many cases for the Dolphins, it's been one and done on the pass attempts, looking to get the ball over that back line of the Bloodhounds, and they've succeeded. They've had some good opportunities, but when those balls have been knocked down by the back line of John Jay, the Dolphins have really been left to defend and get back defensively very quickly. In most cases, they haven't been able to do so.
It's been a swirling wind here, but for the most part, it's been a wind that favors the Dolphins. It has been going right to left most of the time. DeRosa looking to play it on the line. That was intercepted. Tucci was in the neighborhood. This is Mulick. Mulick sidesteps one defender, puts one on frame, and Boudreau was there as she worked under it and made the save.
As the wind picks up as well, Dave, the wind may have helped that one along just a bit at the tail end of that shot, and you can hear it through our microphones as Boudreau forced to work really hard for the first time in this game. First time I believe she's gotten her hands on the ball with the exception of punching it away.
Yeah, we get another look at that attempt there as Mulick didn't have a big window but fired it on net. Nice job by Boudreau to track it and make the clean save. Officially John Jay's first shot on frame of the game. We're 29 minutes into this one. Dolphins again just dumping it out here in favor of getting more numbers back. Aparicio backpedals back into play. Mulick with a quick first touch and over her neighbor's head and out of play. Yagos tries to play it up the field. That'll go out of play, and Dolphins can now donate some more attention to the offensive attack. Mitchell, Pelinkovic, Yagos, and Bracic. That forward line for the Dolphins when they rush up the field. But an interception and a turnover, and coming down with it is Golden. Golden continues to play it, and poor pass in the middle gives it away. Mignon fell down on the play, and she loses possession here to Healy. Healy looking the direction of Mulick. Mulick turns towards her right, looking near the corner flag, and it's too heavy of a pass intended for Benuelos, who's switched spots now from the left side to the right.
Not the first time we've seen a player lose their footing in this game either, Dave. We saw Mignon get tripped up for just a moment. That turnover did not prove costly, but Elizabeth Apple on the attacking side, overlapping for the Dolphins, moving up the far sideline earlier in the game, lost her footing, was able to recover, and created a scoring chance for the Dolphins.
Inexplicable turnover there as Boudreau kind of shanked the goal kick, and John Jay gives it right back, so crisis averted that time. Yagos had one batted down by Healy. Now a small window moving to the right and firing on goal was Daddario, the substitution. Clean save there by Boudreau. It skipped right in front of her.
A couple of shots on goal for the Bloodhounds over the last few minutes, so they're beginning to put some more pressure on the Dolphins. And it's been a little bit since the Dolphins' last opportunity. It's really been John Jay controlling possession and the scoring chances over the last few minutes, but still looking at that shot attempt by Nermina Bracic earlier, that was definitely the best scoring chance of the game for either side. And fortunately for the Bloodhounds, Bracic not able to convert, and for the Dolphins, that the Bloodhounds haven't been able to register a quality shot from in close yet.
And that one skips near the top of the box, taken down by DeRosa. DeRosa, who's played well in her corner of the field, did give that one away, but John Jay has to reset the offense. Bracic with a quick toe poke towards the middle of the field. Popped straight up in the air by Tucci. Tucci started the game on the front line, now has worked her way back into the defensive midfield. John Jay continues to control. Now a giveaway to Mitchell. Mitchell looking to thread one through, but once again, Estro is there to meet it, pop it up towards midfield. This is Pelinkovic. She can give it a ride with Estro out of net, but thought about it. You could see her look up at what was happening in front of her. Instead, the pass over to Bracic, and we have a whistle. It'll be Staten Island's ball as Mulick came up too high with that tackle attempt. Dolphins will get a free kick out of this. It looks like Pelinkovic is going to yield to Churko. John Jay will employ a two-man wall here as Mulick and Benuelos are in the neighborhood. Churko looking to put one. It is wide of frame and out of play. Dolphins will get themselves a substitution here as Angie Galan will come in. We'll see who she comes in to replace. It will be Jordan Yagos.
He replaces 28 Jordan Yagos.
So Joe, the Dolphins
very involved early.
So I was going to say the Dolphins getting fresh legs right at the top of the attack, sensing perhaps knocking on that door. The John Jay defense having made a couple of runs already. We'll see what Galan can offer. That one is in the direction of Galan. She's locked in a foot race with Mena, who's come on late. And Mena nurses it out of bounds. So goal kick now for John Jay. This is the penultimate soccer broadcast for us on Sportsnet. We'll be back here on Saturday as the CSI women's soccer team wraps up their 2019 season against NYU. It'll be their senior day. Kickoff scheduled for 12 noon. And then, Joe, we'll turn our attention indoors to men's and women's basketball. We'll try to get some swimming live stream for you as well during the winter months. And that's always an exciting time. And we've been graced with good weather predominantly for the soccer season.
We certainly have, and that hasn't always been the case. I don't believe we've had one game this year where it was raining during the game. We had a post-game breakdown with a heavy downpour, as John Jay may have a chance brewing here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Golden, and she gets dispossessed very cleanly that time by the CSI defense. DeLoya was there. Aparicio was there to back her up as well. Solid play for the defense. Working towards the corner flag, but out of play. Dolphins will get a goal kick out of this. And, you know, lost in all this, Joe, has been the play of the Dolphins' back line. They've all been pretty good today. Churko, DeRosa, Aparicio, and DeLoya being the two seniors really holding it down. They've done a really nice job on that back line.
They have, and they've done so all season long. We've seen Aparicio with 6 assists to lead the team. I believe 5 of those came in one game. She had a really big game earlier this year. I think that was on the road against Medgar Evers. Yep. So a huge game in that one for Aparicio, but that's been the norm for her. We've seen her overlap from that backer position. She's a former CUNYAC championship MVP, had 2 goals against Lehman in that season, one of them being key in that CUNYAC championship game, another big goal in a regular season matchup against them. I think that was 2 years ago now, the year that the CUNYAC championship was played right here at the CSI Soccer Complex. But Deloya has a goal for the Dolphins as well, so they're more than just a defensive back line, that senior tandem.
Foot race now on the other side of the field, 3 against 3 the other way. Pelinkovic with a little bit of space, and that's a poor job by the Dolphins attack. They had a 3 against 3. Angie Galan had a poor first touch that time, Joe. The Dolphins not able to generate anything out of it as her pass went awry.
We've seen the Dolphins with numbers more than once in this game, and the Bloodhounds have had at times as few as 2 players back that I've seen, and the Dolphins have converged on some of those pop-up type pass attempts that have just lofted into the air, and with all of those players converging on the ball, that's given John Jay time to recover and get numbers back and maintain an advantage on that back line, or at least keep the numbers even at 4v4 in most cases. But I have seen opportunities for the Dolphins where they've had 4 players to the Bloodhounds too. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to corral the ball in those spots.
Yeah, you know, for a large majority of this first half, Joe, the Dolphins have been really going up high to get through the John Jay defense. And on that last exchange, they kind of went through right through the middle on a line drive kind of entry pass and had a little success that time. So see if the Dolphins go back to that.
Look, there's one thing that's clear from the first 36-plus minutes of play. It's that these two teams appear to be very evenly matched. Certainly won't be seeing a result like we saw in the CUNYAC championship last year. The Dolphins storming out of the gate in that one, really have been kept at bay so far on the attack. No great chances outside of that Brocic shot attempt from in close, but only 1 shot on goal for CSI thus far, 2 for the Bloodhounds.
A little bit of errant play there on the back line for the Dolphins, but they do well to spill the ball towards midfield. John Jay wants to reset things, and Estro, who cannot obviously use her hands, gives one away, and both Nermina Brocic and Mignon kind of passed on it. Ends up going all the way back to the Dolphins' defense. Churko. Ooh, poor first touch that time. Dangerous, but John Jay getting back to it. Benuelos played out by Mignon.
Bloodhounds have not been shy about playing the ball backwards if they feel they need to. They have not hesitated to do so, and we've seen Erica Estro very busy both in goal and around the box as she's received several passes, and Bloodhounds have not been shy about putting the ball on her foot.
Healy tried to touch it back. Now the Dolphins working towards the midfield. Poor first touch that time by Galan, and now a turnover. Bearing down hard was Pelinkovic. Turning around and spilling it out was Tucci. John Jay has to regroup here as Mitchell keeps that one from coming onto their side of the field, as we are under 7 minutes officially here to go in the first half. John Jay continuing here to play towards midfield, turned over. Mignon tries to spill one through. Another foot race near the top, and Estro is there as she was shielded nicely by Annalise Tucci. Galan pushes that one down, but losing it to Tucci, who plays it up to Benuelos. Once again on the near side of the field. Looking midfield in the direction of Golden. Finds her. Golden looking for an overlapping attacker. Does find Madrid on the play. She looks to get one into the box. No one there for John Jay as the Dolphins able to spill it out. Approaching that time in the first half where crunch time, both teams would love to sneak in a goal. Foot race now the other side. Menya there in plenty of time. Plays it back to Estro. Estro cannot touch. Another tough first touch there. Almost losing it on the play was Santos, but she doubles back and it's played out. Got a John Jay human wall in front of us. Can't see anything on this side of the field, Joe.
And I was just getting a score update from Randall's Island very quickly. There is no score between the men's soccer team of CSI and the men's soccer team of John Jay. Both games taking place at the exact same time, getting underway at 3:30. The men on the road, and of course the women right here on CSI Sportsnet.
Yeah, so we'll keep our eye on that score as well. The CSI men's team, similar to the women, looking to stay undefeated against CUNY Athletic Conference teams. Another long pass that's played straight up and out of bounds. I think there might have been a foul called there, as going in hard was Madrid on the play. Under 5 minutes to play here, first half, no score. It's been a good one here between John Jay and CSI. Offensive chances have been few and far between for both sides, but they have been good ones. Neither team able to capitalize. You get the sense, Joe, that if and when a team scores a goal, it's going to change the complexion of the game completely, as one team is going to be forced to press a great deal and allow for more chances to happen on both sides.
The deeper we get into this game, the more important it becomes to get the first goal up on the scoreboard.
And now, great defensive play on the line by Mignon to avert a scoring attempt. And here's a long drive, and that one is out of play as it misses high and wide. So a mad scramble in front of the goal mouth, Joe, leads to that chance for John Jay. And it's the first time in a while that they've been able to penetrate that deep as we get another look at it.
It is, as we get another look at that sequence, or we will momentarily. I'm not sure if it already flashed. There it is on your screen. So we'll get another look at that mad scramble in front, as that one's launched toward goal, but over the top. So I'll turn my attention to my left as I missed the replay. So either way, Dave, a mad scramble in front as you described it. And I think you're right. Mignon may have very well kept that out of goal as she got a head on it and knocked it off the line, but that ball chipped up in the air, not a lot behind it, plenty of air under it, and that allowed Mignon to get squarely underneath it and avert another potential opportunity for John Jay.
So out of play, the Dolphins will get themselves a throw in here at midfield as we go under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Tough physical play and foul called against the Dolphins. John Jay will get a chance to quickly reset. Tucci will spot things up. Tucci wearing the captain's armband for the Bloodhounds. A chance here to penetrate a little deeper into the Dolphin zone. That's sky high. It'll catch the top half of the box. Spilled across to the left. One-touch shot, and Boudreau is there to meet it.
Not sure if that was intentional, but the Bloodhounds have appeared to be chipping the ball up in the air quite a bit around the box, and right there seemed to be plenty of open space for a shot attempt by Banuelos, but instead she either shanked the shot attempt or attempted to chip the ball up in the air. I'm not sure which of the two it was.
Yeah, I would go with shank, Joe. It looked like she looked to just turn on it immediately and caught much more of the shin than it did the boot. Now CSI the other way, working near the corner flag, and it will indeed be a corner. So the Dolphins with their first corner kick of the game here comes very late in the first half. Pelinkovic spotting it up. Plenty of time for the Dolphins. And coaching staff urging her to wait so the Dolphins can get numbers up as we approach 90 seconds here to go. Line driver in the box. It sees some real estate. Looking to turn on in, and now Sandor gives it a ride. It pinballs through. And finally, a weak shot attempted by Galan is scooped up cleanly by Estro.
Another good opportunity for the Dolphins. The first in quite a while, but they didn't get all of either of those shots right there. And ultimately, the last shot by Galan trickled into the outstretched arms of Estro.
So we're in the final minute here of play as we have another offside call against Bracic. That's the fourth time she's been caught offside in this half. Can't blame her that time, looking for a break there and got just ahead of the play. Inside of 30 seconds now to go as Churko puts one up near midfield but out of play. John Jay perhaps with one last rush. Healy with a quick first touch. Tries to play it on the sideline, but it's popped right back near midfield, out of play. as we approach 10 seconds to go here in the first half. Looks like we will go into intermission tied at 0.
2, 1.
And indeed we will. So we go into halftime here live from CSI. No score between the Dolphins and the John Jay College Bloodhounds. Statistically even after 45 minutes, and we'll start even when we get ready for the second half. What Joe and I will do is step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look at the first half statistics and get you ready for second half action right here live from Staten Island. It's the John Jay College Bloodhounds, nothing, and the Staten Island Dolphins, nothing. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Women's Soccer on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends, live sports and watch parties, to Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Welcome back here to the CSI Soccer Complex. This will be an abridged halftime, Joe, as the teams have asked for 10 minutes rather than the customary 15. So we'll talk about the first half, Joe. Statistically pretty even. We'll get stats up for you in just a couple of moments. But play-wise, the Dolphins seem to want to go more for the home run ball, Joe, whereas the John Jay College Bloodhounds were working possession in 5-10 yards at a time, as you see the stats on your screen. Pretty even all around.
And what jumps out to me, the big difference on the stat sheet is the offsides, of course. And for the Dolphins, we saw Nemanja Bracic get caught offside several times, and that's in part a product of the Dolphins trying to hit the home run ball, as you mentioned. The Dolphins look to play the ball over the back line of the Bloodhounds, and at times that has created some scoring chances, but at other times we've seen offsides calls result and some opportunities just slip away from them as they play the ball deep down the field. The ball trickles right to the goalkeeper for the Bloodhounds, Erica Estro. So some Dolphins possessions have been cut short by the long ball, but we've also seen some opportunities created by it. So they've lived and died by that long pass so far, and you said it during the first half, the Bloodhounds looking to work the ball a bit more methodically up the field, one pass at a time. They've had some more prolonged possessions than the Dolphins have had. And down around the box, they've had some shots from in very close, but haven't been able to convert on any of those chances yet.
Yeah, and for the Dolphins, Joe, because their attacking style was pretty deliberate in that half, you wonder if there'll be some changes on both sides for the second half. We made a comment about the wind picking up. It is indeed picking up, kind of blowing now from the inside of your screen to the outside. You could see our camera rocking back and forth. That's not us moving it. That's the wind really playing tricks with it. So it gives you a sense of how, how the wind is playing tricks on the ball as well when it's up in the air. So you wonder if both teams strategically change their approach.
We saw the wind pick up very heavily at one point in that first half, and fortunately for the Dolphins, it was right after a John Jay shot attempt, but the wind picked up almost immediately following a shot by the Bloodhounds. That shot was saved by Samantha Boudreau. I believe that was one of her 2 saves in the first half. It was 2 shots on goal for both sides, as you just saw on your screen. And you mentioned potentially some changes for the Dolphins. And taking a look down the stat line for CSI, 1 shot on goal for CSI in the first half by a starter. That belonged to Amber Mitchell. The other belonged to Angie Galan. Neither of those shots was particularly strong. Didn't really force Estro in goal to make an exceptional save on either one of them. Boudreau has been forced to sprint back and forth across her line, but hasn't had to make a very difficult save yet. Perhaps the biggest save of the game was made by Nicole Mignon, heading the ball off the line for the Dolphins defensively. So we've seen the Dolphins scrambling a bit in front of their own goal. Their attacking play hasn't really forced the Bloodhounds to scramble too much. It's been very straightforward. Long ball over the top of the defense, perhaps a 2-on-1, 2-on-2 opportunity. Neither of those converted by the Dolphins, and as it stands, we are scoreless, getting ready to start half number 2.
All right, so why don't we throw it to another break, Joe? When we come back, we'll have second half action. You can see the time ticking down on your screen. So in about 2 minutes' time, we'll get our second half started. Once again, it's halftime here. John Jay and Staten Island tied at 0. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Women's Soccer right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back here to the CSI Soccer Complex. College of Staten Island and John Jay College scoreless after 45. Dolphins will go from left to right on your screen here. John Jay from right to left as we start second half action. Should mention that the CSI men's soccer team also 0-0 at halftime in their game against John Jay. That game being played at Randall's Island as we have our first whistle here of the second half, and it will be John Jay getting themselves a set piece. Tucci will be the one to take it. Running start, right-footed leg onto this one. It goes right at the top of the goal box, over the head originally of Golden. Now DeRosa working it over and nursing it out of bounds.
At the end of that first half, the two teams had combined for 9 fouls. Quickly, our first foul call of the second half to make it 10 between the two sides. 7 called against the Dolphins thus far, 3 against John Jay, but a very physical first half, not clearly indicated by that foul tally, but the teams shouldering one another off the ball quite often.
There's a lead pass into the box, and nice job by Rebecca DeLoya to skip that one out of play. As that was Robledo, who had come out of the game late in the first half, back in here for the second. Third corner kick of the afternoon for John Jay. It'll be Mulick. Mulick has done well so far with her crosses. That one towards the near post, a quick header, and there to skip it out of the box was Palinkovic. Another attempt there, kind of shanked by Menya. CSI comes out with it, able to clear again, but John Jay resets. That one played near the top of the box. Aparicio with a quick shot, and the rebound goes over and put above goal and out of play. This will be a corner kick as the Dolphins defense with Aparicio able to double back and spill that one out of play.
What a great play by Aparicio. Tremendous clearance in between two bloodhounds that were bearing down on goal. She managed to get her leg in between both players and knock it over the touchline, conceding the corner, but the Dolphins will be happy to surrender the corner kick here.
Tucci's going to take this one from the near side, and that was punched right back out by Churko, so they'll redo it. Tucci did not fare well on that one, as that was a kind of a line drive, one that dipped far short of goal. That one done well. That was skipped off Boudreau's fingertips. Dolphins scramble it out. Nice job by Bracic to get to that one as well and double up and get that one out, as we have a yellow card that will be issued against number 8, Alexandra Daddario. She might have went in hard on someone or might have had something to say after the play. I'm not sure if we picked that one up. Maybe we'll get a replay on it. Try to pick up what Daddario did there. John Jay wanted a drop ball on the play instead. Dolphins reset. And here comes a racing Dolphins team. This is Bracic looking to spill one across and punched out of play. This will be a corner for the Dolphins.
Didn't get a chance to comment on that last corner kick taken by the Bloodhounds, but Boudreau needed all of her leaping ability on that one, got the fingertips on it. Fortunate she didn't redirect it into goal. And almost immediately following that Bloodhounds corner kick, the Dolphins will now have a corner kick opportunity of their own.
Yeah, and the corner kick, Joe, this is the first time the Dolphins have really been in John Jay's zone the entire second half. So they were able to spring free on a set piece. Low line drive, skipping ball into the box. Turco did not do well with that one. It gets spilled promptly out. John Jay will have, I believe John Jay will have possession here. No, it'll be CSI catching up to it. Rosa plays it on the line. Bracic, a little too high for Mitchell. John Jay punches it straight up in the air. Out of play. As the wind now blowing from far side to near side. At the back of the Dolphins for now at least. Out of play. Midfield, Robledo was working 1-against-1 on Sandor. Now a threading ball right through the middle of the defense. And now Daddario getting some daylight against Churko. Churko has a turnaround shot by Daddario, and that one is saved by Boudreau.
Well, she had some help there on that rush with Golden, but was unable to get the ball to her. Nicely done by Gabrielle Churko, staying with her on the rush prior to the shot attempt, cutting off that angle for the passes. We'll get another look right here.
Yeah, towards the tail end of the play, Daddario kind of turning towards goal and putting a quick shot on against Churko. And in that foot race, Daddario did really well to get to that ball. I thought Churko had it all the way, and then Daddario put on the afterburners. Middle of the field again. Robledo in the neighborhood. Broken up originally. Dolphins can't clear. And Madrid comes down with it. Tried to get it back on the give and go. Dolphins defense is there. This is Sandor looking to play one over top. It's a long through ball in the direction of Bracic. She will get to it in time before it goes out of play. Bracic, left-footed pass over to Pelinkovic. Long range shot on a hop, played well by Estro, and she makes the save.
We mentioned it during the pregame. Pelinkovic can score from a good distance away. She is no stranger to converting on long shot opportunities, but that one arrived on a bounce. And a bit of a short hop, as you mentioned, Dave. Could make it tough on a goalkeeper if that ball takes an awkward hop, but fortunately it was right into the breadbasket of Erica Estro.
Yeah, and sometimes there's a lot of English on those balls here on the turf, as opposed to natural grass that John Jay's used to sometimes at Randall's Island. But Estro did well, as she has all game long, of getting to that one, as we have another ball out of play. Bodies falling. This will be John Jay's throw-in when it's all said and done, and it will be Cordero to do the honors. Dolphins, first touch by DeLoya. She turns around, look to play that one forward to DeRosa. Now the Dolphins working in short spurts is Pelinkovic. Once again, a threading through ball, and here comes a foot race to it. Can Bracic get there in time? Does go out of play, so not quite sure who they awarded this one to.
Looks like John Jay.
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah, Bracic probably didn't get to that one in time. You could see basically from the images on your screen, the far side of the field kind of bathed in sunlight there as the setting sun is kind of whiting out everything on the far side of the field. And we are completely in the shade here on the near side. Bracic working one-on-one against Cordero, is able to split her. Her would-be pass was interrupted, and Dolphins will get themselves a throw-in deep in John Jay's side of the field.
It's like the corner flag came undone. Perhaps a product of the wind.
Yep. So Dolphins with the throw-in towards the side of the box, looking to put one through the middle, but can't convert on the pass attempt. Both these teams have scored a heap of goals inside of CUNYAC play, but nothing on the scoreboard yet, and minimal shots on target as well, a sign of good defense for both teams throughout. Turnover here as now John Jay comes 3 against 3, and now here comes a fourth overlapping player. This is Robledo now. Robledo with bodies in front. Another opportunity, and that one interrupted by Deloya. She can't save it from going out of bounds, and this will be another corner kick here for John Jay.
And it's not the first time I've said it this season, Dave, but Rebecca Deloya has tremendous closing speed, chasing down plays from behind when it seems like nobody else can, as we'll get another look at Deloya cutting off that passing lane. And if she doesn't get there and knock that ball away, it looks like that ball would have found the center of the box. I'm not sure that any other Dolphin was in position to make a play, but John Jay is awarded the corner kick, and we saw an earlier corner kick in this half result in an opportunity.
Tucci again taking it, and that one's in close and again swept away by the CSI defense. It goes out of play, another corner, this time from the other side. John Jay knocking on the door via the set piece now as they are going to get set for their 7th corner. Here, this one. Yeah, that was the defense again. Joe getting to that one off the head. Now we go from the other side. Once again, placed directly in front, about 8 yards over. And there's another one that skips in. And we're going to have a stoppage of play. We're going to have a penalty shot here, Joe, as it looked like one of the Dolphins players may have touched it with their upper arm. And the Dolphins will, the Bloodhounds will have themselves a PK, and it will be Katie Healy to take it.
Well, no hesitation. Sorry, Dave.
11:36 into the second half. They spot up. Healy, left-footed shot into an open net. And John Jay has taken a 1-0 lead on CSI thanks to a penalty kick by Katie Healy. The Bloodhounds are up 1-0.
Well, there was no hesitation on that whistle blown by the official, Dave, as I was about to say before. And it had to be a whistle against Deloya, who was standing right on the goal line. Looked like she made another nice play to body that one off of the line, but unfortunately made contact with it on the upper arm, as you mentioned. Whistle immediately blew. John Jay awarded the penalty kick, and I said it before, Dave, the team that scores first would be in great position in this game, as it's been a very back-and-forth game thus far. Now the pressure is on the Dolphins to get even.
And we'll get another look at maybe the foul that caused the penalty, not sure. As is Mitchell. Mitchell now with an opportunity and just puts it wide. Had the right idea. That was the open side of the goal. We got a great look at it, but Mitchell shot it wide.
An unfortunate break there for the Dolphins. They got a great look at it as the freshman forward, Amber Mitchell, reigning CUNYAC Rookie of the Week, putting that ball just wide, as we will get another look at that shot attempt. And you said it, Dave, she put it towards the far side of goal. That was the right spot to shoot for, but the ball travels wide, and the Dolphins remain behind by a goal.
Dolphins will now have to take their chances offensively and pour some numbers up top. Broderick skies one straight up in the air into the direction of Mitchell. Yagos now looking for open overlapping Aparicio, but doing a nice job getting back was Mena, and she spills it out of bounds.
Well, it seems the Dolphins have responded to that Bloodhounds goal with a bit more urgency on the attack. They've really been putting the pressure on over these last couple of minutes.
Now a play into the box, and Estra is there. Brocic got there late, wanting a call was Estro. She won't get it, but in any event, a good breakup of the play. This is Mulick now looking to take advantage of the Dolphins' numbers up top. Ball spilled out. Still plenty of time to go here in this one. 32.5 officially. But the Dolphins now will need to press for that equalizing goal as they give up only the second goal to a CUNYAC conference team this season. One of them was in the opening minute against York College, and the other one coming via the PK to CUNY's leading scorer, Katie Healy, her 14th of the season. This is Sandor now looking to go over top. Onside was Mitchell, and she battles there but falls hard and is slow to get up but does.
You referenced that one goal scored against CSI by a CUNYAC school, scored by York College earlier this year. That put the Dolphins behind 1-0 in that game. They didn't stay behind very long, and they hope that this one follows a similar script to that game, as they ended up running away with it, winning that game 4-1. But they've had tremendous success against York in the past, have had equal success against John Jay all time.
And the Dolphins, who scored 6 against John Jay in last year's CUNY championship, they're not going to get that many opportunities here in the game's second half, especially with John Jay devoting numbers back, as that one heading towards the goal line and swept away and out of play. And for a team that's up 1-0, Joe, and you know they are certainly taking their risks defensively, only putting 2 players back, and now they're going to yield. Oh, actually a goal kick. I thought that went off of the John Jay defense. Instead, Estro will spot this one up here.
Well, I referenced the success that CSI has had against York and John Jay as well. They are undefeated against John Jay all time, 17-0-2. So the 2 games they did not win ended in ties.
Yeah, one of those ended up in a PK win in a CUNY championship. DeRosa meeting that one. Has it taken away by Robledo. Robledo now working to her right, interrupted by Deloya, and she's going to get the advantages of a whistle. One of the things starting to notice, Joe, is Lisbeth Aparicio coming up more into the attacking fold. As you can see, she's now coming up towards the top of the box, and now there's another overlapping ball, and doing a nice job to get to it was Tucci first, pops it up straight up in the air. Bodies moving now on the John Jay bench for substitutions. John Jay playing one towards the sideline. Middle of the field, Mignon with the turnover. Trying to play it near the corner flag for Aparicio. Aparicio trying to give it a run, and did she get there? No, she did not.
I thought for a moment she may have played that ball off of the defender for a corner kick. That was not the case, and it will be a goal kick for John Jay.
No one really warming up on the sideline for the Dolphins. Short goal kick again, misplayed by John Jay, so the Dolphins will get possession back immediately. Short throw into Mitchell. Mitchell tries to play it more towards the middle of the field. That was intercepted by Jillian Golden. Golden looking middle of the field. Intercepted by Deloya. One touch over to Pelinkovic. Pelinkovic sidesteps to her right. 2 Dolphins were offside. They can't chase. And going all the way back for it and to see it through out of bounds is Nina Mena.
Well, after that last short goal kick, it looks like John Jay will bring another player back to take it. It will be Tucci this time.
Yeah, she's taken all of the corner kick attempts in this half, too. And they've been dangerous. One of them led to the goal, obviously. No one home for the Dolphins, top of the box. Estro's there to play it clean. Looking in the direction of Mulick. Mulick 1v1 against Bracic. Foul on Bracic as they paw back and forth at one another. It's games like this when you're behind, Joe, that the clock seems to move a little bit faster. as we are down to 27 minutes officially. Long ball, first touch by DeLoya down. DeRosa tries to play it on the line, can't do it. Golden with a quick first touch. And catching the back of her heel was DeLoya, and so we'll have a free kick with about 30 yards away here.
Foul on the Dolphins, number 9 in this game. 5 called so far against the Bloodhounds. And as I mentioned before, it's been a very physical game, especially in the midfield.
And Tucci's getting instructions from her sideline to put this one on goal. So let's see what Tucci has to offer here. Might make Boudreau work. Instead, a low-line driver on 3 or 4 hops. Boudreau, the ball gets away from her. John Jay had it quickly. Mignon got to toe poke it out. Now this is DeLoya. John Jay can't get to it. They work 50-50. A lot of holding going on that time, as Cynthia Madrid was called for the foul.
If the Bloodhounds had an outlet once Boudreau came out of goal, it would have been a very dangerous situation for the Dolphins, but there was nowhere to go with the ball after Boudreau got a hand on it.
Overlapping Brocic, she tries to one touch, put one on goal. That was well wide. Dolphins today officially with 9 total shots, 4 of them on frame. It's probably been the 5 that have not been on goal, Joe, that have been the real solid scoring chances for the Dolphins.
Well, the best certainly was not on goal. The shot by Brocic I keep going back to. That was easily the best Dolphins chance of this game. And Amber Mitchell actually had a great opportunity as well here in the second half and sent it wide. That may have taken over as the best Dolphins scoring chance.
Now straight up the middle, that pass was intercepted by the Bloodhounds. They turn their attention to the offense in the direction of Healy, working against Aparicio. Sandor had a touch on it, losing it. Over to Madrid. Madrid drops off to Mulick. Mulick, fancy footwork over to Tucci. Tucci, who could shoot from here, left-footed cross in the box, wide open, and put on goal, and the save made against Golden. Boudreau up to the challenge.
Great save there by Samantha Boudreau. Easily the toughest save she has made in this game. It's been a busy second half. We mentioned the corner kick disparity, 7-2. A lot going on down at that end of the field, as she'll get another look at that save. And that's as dangerous as it gets. Close range, able to square up was Golden, but Boudreau was up to the task. And on top of that, she handled the rebound cleanly, did not allow for a rebound, and was able to corral it and send play back in the other direction quickly.
Best save for either team in this game by far, as Golden was sitting on the doorstep wide open, and Churko was late getting to her. But the Dolphins need a chance of their own here to get themselves back into it. Threading ball in the middle. Aparicio is the only one there for the Dolphins. Turned over. This is Golden now the other way. First touch to keep it in. Threads it in the middle. Robledo. Back to Golden. And spilled out of play by DeLoya. She's done that a ton here this afternoon.
All season long, Rebecca DeLoya has been stout for the Dolphins defensively. Never ceases to hustle. Even when it seems like she's out of the play, she still has the chance to get there. And we saw that earlier in this second half, cutting off a potential scoring chance on a pass into the center of the box. And that one quickly sent over the fence by Churko.
Short throw again for John Jay. CSI tries to spill it out. Madrid had an opportunity. This is Mulick now getting to it. Right-footed shot is in low on Boudreau. She makes the clean save.
The wind knocked that ball down as it sailed out toward midfield. Should mean the wind is in John Jay's favor.
This is Mulick again. That time straight through, looking in the direction of Healy. Now to Robledo. Robledo with an opportunity. She gets swept off the ball by DeLoya. Another great defensive play by Rebecca DeLoya. Tries to turn her attention towards the attack. DeLoya overlaps. Gets into it with, and we'll hold the ball here as John Jay wants to get substitutions into the game. Cristalina Banuelos will check back in along with Jamie Bellotti, who we haven't seen since the opening stages of the first half. Coming out of the game will be Robledo and Daddario.
I think if you're the Dolphins bench or a fan of this Dolphins team, it's getting a bit concerning that threatening chances continue to present themselves for John Jay. And Bloodhounds have to be very encouraged with the way they've played in the second half. They've had the pressure on the Dolphins from the whistle that opened up half number 2 all the way now through the final 22 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and since that goal, the Dolphins have had a couple of very brief moments, but other than that, John Jay has really dictated play and possession. The drop off over to Mulick. Mulick is able to cross one in the middle, interrupted by the defense. CSI spills it out again. Aparicio gets a quick little touch on it. Healy catches up to it and sees it go out of bounds. John Jay will have the throw in again. Short throw, once again, straight out by the Dolphins. This is Healy now. John Jay wants a handball. They don't get it. They had a case.
I think it was a defensive maneuver there, if anything, by Churko, that one.
Protect herself there.
Right
Santos.
next to her.
Working hard is Mena. Playing it back. John Jay wants to switch fields. They do now to Mulick. Mulick has been a quarterback to this offense here in the second half. She gets it over to Golden. Golden able to shed DeRosa. Looks to put it up in front. Bellotti with a heavy first touch. This will be a goal kick. Dolphins will get the sub. As
Ball a
Callie
bit too
Long will
long.
come in. Sorry, Joe.
Callie Long will come in, as that ball was a bit too long.
Is that what I said?
You did say that, but I said
Yeah.
the ball was a
Oh,
bit
okay.
too long, right, as Callie Long
okay.
stepped onto the field. But if you're the Bloodhounds, you will take it as the pressure continues to remain squarely on the shoulders of CSI right now.
Yeah,
They've really been unable to cross midfield for the majority of the second half.
That's right, and the Dolphins really trying to use, again, that home run ball as opposed to being creative with their feet. A lot of credit to the Bloodhounds, obviously, for preventing the Dolphins from really establishing any sort of big possession here as Pelinkovic looks for the long throw. It goes over the defense. Tucci has to double back to get to it. John Jay in good position there, but Mitchell gets to it first. Bodies flying there as the ball goes out of play. This will be a corner kick, I believe. Nope, it's going to be a goal kick for John Jay.
Brief stoppage in play will give me a moment to remind our engineer, Joe Masha, he does not have a future in soccer as that ball rolled straight past his foot. Perhaps Sean Fitzpatrick, our photographer, might have more of a future as he was able to make the touch on it.
Yep, he made a pass at it though. Did try.
He did.
So after the foul here, a free kick for John Jay, and once again they'll take their time here as Tucci barks out the signals, and we'll get a running start into this one. Into open space, Golden is in the neighborhood. DeRosa bearing down on her. Put one into the middle and punched away by Boudreau. The follow-up is just wide, and Aparicio able to see it clear out of the zone. Ball out of play. John Jay will have, actually, they wave it down here. Mignon over her head. Tucci with a quick first touch. Madrid over to Golden, dropping it off to Mulick. Mulick with a running start. Has her pass interrupted by DeLoya, out of play. John Jay again with continued possession in CSI side of the field. .50-50 ball. deep in CSI's end. Rebecca DeLoya battling, comes out with it. Tries to get it through. Mulick could not do so. Dolphins just have to spill it towards midfield. Dolphins don't have numbers there. John Jay plays it back. Estro can't touch it, but she does play it up towards midfield. Yeah, Dolphins have to be in the mode, Joe, where they have to start challenging every ball, especially these in the middle of the field. This is Brocic now in a foot race against two Bloodhounds, losing it originally, kept in. This is Aparicio, and Aparicio not sure what she was trying to do there, whether shoot or pass across. In any event, ball goes out of play. Goal kick for Estro.
We have an update from the men's game. It is 1-0 CSI on an own goal. So for the second time in as many years I've been on Sportsnet, well, an own goal was scored in a men's game on the road.
Yeah, we saw one here at home against Brooklyn College that opened up a 2-0 win for CSI. They don't happen often, but when they go in your favor, you love them. Dolphins women's team would love one right about now. After really a penalty, gave John Jay College a penalty kick that they were able to easily score on a nice defensive play by DeLoya to keep a goal from going in. It caught the top half of her arm, and she was called for the handball in the box. That one in the box, skips over, and it's going to go in. Lisbeth Aparicio, I believe, got a feather of a touch on it, and with 16:01 left, the Dolphins have equalized it at 1.
Well, I mentioned it before, Dave. Aparicio, no stranger to scoring big goals, as she got ahead on it in front. That ball sent about half the length of the field. That free kick was taken from just beyond midfield. It landed beyond the center of the box, about maybe 2 or 3 yards at most away from goal. Aparicio got the head on it and put it in the back of the net to give the Dolphins their first goal of the game and even up the score at 1.
And now a foot race down the far sideline, spilled out of play. Now the Dolphins with a little bit of momentum. And I was trying to see if that ball might have gotten touched on the way to Aparicio. It's hard to pick up from that replay, Joe, but we'll break it down after the game and find out. If not, the assist goes to the long driving pass into the box.
I think that was Pelinkovic who took the free kick.
It was either that or Churko.
Yeah.
And now here comes John Jay the other way. This is a 3-on-1 developing. And that one, a long shot, batted down by Boudreau, and she's able to handle. And I don't know if Mulick knew, Joe, but she had two Bloodhounds in the middle of the box.
Second goal.
If you can back up that replay, Joe, and show us the whole play. 50-50 ball in the middle as we come inside of 15 minutes to go. Now a tie score between CSI and John Jay.
Dolphin goal scored by number 13, Lisbeth Aparicio. The assist to 24, Mirsal Pelinkovic.
Now in the middle to Golden. This is Healy now. Healy with a head of steam. And taken away by Rebecca DeLoya. Nice defensive play again by the senior. Okay. Mignon tries to play one up over top to an overlapping Mitchell. Shielding her away from the ball was Santos. Nice defensive play by the Bloodhounds. Dolphins will have themselves a throw-in as a result of this. Played down towards Mitchell. Santos in the neighborhood. Wanted to see it cleanly out, and we'll have a goal kick here. Substitution coming in for John Jay. It'll be Kimberly Robledo checking back in for the Bloodhounds. She'll replace Banuelos.
Clock ticks down to 13 and a half minutes to play as that goal kick is taken out toward midfield. But going back to the goal for just a moment, Lisbeth Aparicio once again converting on a huge goal. You mentioned it before, Dave, overlapping from that defensive position on the back line quite a bit. And right there, it pays dividends as we'll get another look here.
Yeah, we'll see the spot up there on the free kick. Hard to pick up.
That was Churko, Dave.
It was Churko. So Churko will get the assist on the goal from popped in by Aparicio officially. Good look by Joe Masha, our engineer, to give us that replay. And now from about the same area, Joe, we might see instant replay. This time in the shade, Churko getting ready to spot it up. Running start, right-footed kick. It is in the box. There's jerseys flying everywhere. Once again, Aparicio puts one off the crossbar. And the rebound, looks like the flag might have been up. Joe, I'm not quite sure. Either way, play immediately ceased. But that was another dangerous play. And guess who again? Elizabeth Aparicio sitting at the doorstop, basically unmarked. She was offside, Joe. You could see it on the play, but boy, oh boy, it's wide open.
Boy, oh boy, Dave. Dolphins nearly, with an instant replay, as you mentioned, of that first goal. Had to do a double take at our monitor to ensure we were still getting a live look at the action, but you said it, Aparicio was offside, still relatively unmarked as she gradually made her way past that back line of the Bloodhounds and into scoring position again. And she was unable to find the back of the net with the shot attempt. It was off the crossbar. On the stat sheet, it's nothing as the flag was up offsides the call, and now a free kick from the same spot headed in the other direction.
Right, as Tucci puts one up over top of the defense, it spills all the way out of play. So this will be a goal kick the other way for CSI. But we've reached that point in the game, Joe, in a tie game where every opportunity means a great deal here, and the next goal could ultimately win it. And the field almost completely in the shade now, with the exception of the part of the screen you're watching now as it gets spilled out into the deeper into the defensive zone for CSI. This is Long who loses it over to Mulick. Mulick now look to thread it in, but again, Deloya is there to interrupt things. This is Aparicio. Aparicio with a running start tries to put one over top of the defense. This is a nice pass over to Mitchell. She got a tough first touch on it. Tried to play one over to Mignon, and that one spilled out of play. I'm sure Mitchell would have liked to have a better first touch on that entry pass from Aparicio. It was a gorgeous one there, as now we play it towards the goal line, and this will be a corner kick for, oh, actually, no, it's a foul called on the Dolphins. From deep in her own territory, Bellotti is there. Healy back over to Mena, looking for Healy. Plays it near the sideline. Dolphins interrupt, poked out by Mena. Oh, that should be CSI's ball. Well, that's a tough, tough call. That was clear as day. That was last touch by Mena.
Well, if you're listening to what we can hear along the near sideline, John Jay saying that it was their ball. The flag, of course, pointed in their direction, and one of the players remarking that Dolphins knew that and decided to throw it in anyway. But regardless, it will be a Bloodhounds throw-in, and here it comes.
Oh, thought you had it, Joe. My bad.
That was
we
got to call it. Mixer Detroit
center,
Part 2.
It's like playing center field in baseball. Neither one of us called it.
Yeah, we don't need to be buying another mixer. That would be 3 in the last several months.
No, if the mixer broke, I would have blamed Joe. That's how it works. And there's a line drive shot on goal by Golden, handled cleanly by Boudreau. And, lost in all of this, too, is the play of Samantha Boudreau. Has made some really good saves and has had really good positioning for all of her saves as well. Get another quick look at that. Hard to pick up via the replay because of the sun glare, but nice job by Boudreau. Rebecca Deloya, who's played a great defense here for CSI. Spills another one out. DeRosa had her clearance interrupted, and that will go out of play. This will be a goal kick here for CSI.
It's 2-0 Dolphins at Randall's Island, and that can't be right, could it?
Yeah, I guess it has to be. You could say it, Joe.
Another own goal.
Yeah, 2 own goals for John Jay. Now, there's something you don't see every day.
There's something I've never seen in my time covering CSI Dolphins athletics. That's 5 years, not as extensive a period as you've been here, Dave, but I've never seen 2 own goals in a soccer match.
Definitely not, and it's one of those things where if that stands that way, that'll be an email to a chat group for SIDs to say, has anybody seen this before, and when's the last time it's happened? And it'll be something for the game notes, I'm sure, as we're going to have a whistle and now a card that is going to be issued to, I believe that's Mirsada Palinkovic on the far side of the field. Her yellow she's earned, that's, actually don't have that here, but I think that's her first of the season.
Yellow card assessed to 24, the Dolphins, Mirsada Palinkovic.
And not only 2 own goals, both scored within 10 minutes of one another.
They're getting towards the final 15 minutes in that game as well. John Jay with a spoiled effort there on the free kick, as that one sails all the way out of bounds. Meanwhile, we are here in the 83rd. CSI tying things up on a goal by Lisbeth Aparicio off of a great free kick opportunity about 45 yards out by Gabrielle Churko. Robledo fell down near the top of the box. No whistle that time as Sandor comes out with it. Here comes another foot race down the far sideline. Palinkovic giving chase, but that ball will go out of play. She'll pick it up, get ready for the throw. John Jay trying to get back on to the defensive side of the field. Great first touch. Mitchell has one bounce down, and Estro will be able to catch up to that one as Mitchell now spilled in the box. Clock will stop, and Mitchell is going to need some attention. She's grabbing her face, and instead she gets up under her own power. So with 6:14 to go, Estro will spot this one up and play it. John Jay, a penalty kick goal in this second half off the foot of Katie Healy. Followed up by a goal from Lisbeth Aparicio. Robledo over to Mulick. Mulick now on the right side. Playing over to Golden. Golden now turns towards goal. Swept away from her. Put back into the box. Boudreau with the punch. And now, I believe that was Madrid with the follow-up. And now time is called as Robledo is slow to get up. And now she gets up under her own power. Madrid had a nice chance there, Joe, off the follow-up, but never really got a good clean foot on it.
She sure did, and she whiffed on it right in the center of the top of the box. And a lot of traffic to navigate with a potential shot attempt, so it would have been difficult to put that one on goal. But Boudreau smacked the ball down with one hand instead of pulling it in with two and securing it. And that opened up the opportunity for John Jay around the boxes.
Now a drop ball, that a quick whistle as someone may have entered early. Equivalent to a hockey face-off here. Both teams going for it. Mulick plays it back towards midfield, and almost a takeaway there for Mitchell. As another body's falling, and Sandor may have played it while she was on the ground, and
she did.
Yeah, and I don't think the official caught it.
She got a foot on it while she was down. It wasn't a hand.
DeRosa spilled out. So we are under 5 minutes. The scoreboard that you see on your screen, unofficial. So we have 4:40 remaining here officially. Time for a couple of last rushes up the field for either team as dusk begins to creep in here at the CSI Soccer Complex. Remember, if this game ends in a draw, they will play sudden death overtime, golden goal scenario. DeRosa plays one off of the shins of John Jay and out of play, so Boudreau will be able to spot this one up. It looks like Churko will do the honors here. Churko, big right foot into that one in the direction of Pelinkovic. Quick first touch by Bracic. He plays it straight up in the air. Now looking to go across the field to Mignon. Offside flag was down. Mignon collides into Estro. Did try and hold up that time. She's going to get whistled for the foul. Estro seems to be okay.
Fortunately, she avoided the knee of Mignon. That was the danger there as Estro went down to the turf. Mignon trying to perhaps get a leg on the ball before it was corralled and nearly caught Estro with a knee.
This is Robledo now, who's able to thread one through, and here we have a breakaway. It'll be Golden against Boudreau. She puts one wide of the net. It will be a corner. Boudreau got just a piece of it. And now that becomes the save of the game, Joe, so far.
It absolutely is, Dave. I didn't see her get a piece of it, but she clearly did. That ball slowed down. We'll get another look at it on the replay. Maybe we could even slow this one down in a couple of moments, she got a foot on it.
Yeah, right toe on it to knock it out of bounds. But this is something that has given the Dolphins trouble in the second half. These corner kicks that have all been taken by Tucci. She's done an extremely good job on these. You can see the sun glare playing a part. Players shielding their eyes. That one goes over everyone and out of play. Definitely the poorest corner kick attempt of the game for John Jay. CSI wants to restart quickly. Bracic can't control. Benefits of the call there. Mitchell, she gets powered down. Tries to get into the direction of Long. Skips over to Sandor instead. Pass is intercepted. And here comes John Jay the other way. They hold things up. This is Healy now. Healy with some space. Playing it over to her right. This is Mulick, who gets it into open territory. Mulick, interrupted briefly by DeRosa, puts one towards the back post, but too far out of play.
That ball just a bit too long. There were two Bloodhounds standing right there ready to make a play on that one along the far post, but too far out in front of both of them.
Popped up over. Bellotti got the first touch on it. Golden is in the neighborhood now, working one-on-one against Aparicio as we approach 80 seconds to go officially. With some space, Mulick will give it a ride. It is interrupted by Boudreau. She comes down with it. Nice job by Boudreau to extend and make another save.
And she's been put to work over the last couple of minutes. The Dolphins had really kept the pressure on in the latter portion of this second half with about 20 minutes to go. The Dolphins really took control. But from that point forward, or I should say from that 20-minute mark forward, the Dolphins have had the best of the opportunities. John Jay now, these last couple of minutes, spending a lot of time around the Dolphins' goal.
So now 45 seconds to go. The Dolphins, perhaps with last moments rush, and now Bracic will lose it. Get another look at that long-range shot. Well placed. Would have done well to maybe push it towards the corner of the goal a little bit more, but Boudreau had to make the extended save, and not only making it on her tippy toes, but able to keep any rebound. As we approach now, nearing the 10-second mark.
10, 9,
Healy, another foot race. This is Golden now. Deloya able to catch up. Toe poke towards the top of the box. What a great job by Deloya to interrupt that last breakaway. And at the end of 90 full minutes of time, we have a 1-1 draw that is going to go into overtime.
And what a finish. What a finish to regulation, Dave, as once again, Rebecca Deloya chasing down the play from behind and able to get there, preventing what would have been a tremendous shot opportunity on a breakaway to end regulation. Dolphins survive a late flurry by John Jay, and we'll head to overtime even at 1.
Yeah, so after 45 minutes, they were tied at 0, both teams with a goal. in the second half. Both teams with chances in the second half, probably John Jay with the better of them. But John Jay scores their goal via a PK after the Dolphins had been whistled for a handball in their box to take a 1-0 lead. And then in the later stages, a clutch goal by Lisbeth Aparicio for Aparicio, her second goal of the season off of Gabrielle Churko's long free kick from 45 yards away, her first assist of the season. And the Dolphins able to tie this one up. So what we're going to do is we're going to step aside here. We have about 4 minutes of a brief intermission before we get our overtime started. We'll take a break. When we come back, it will be overtime action right here from the CSI Soccer Complex. It's 1-1 between John Jay and the College of Staten Island.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
We are back here live from the CSI Soccer Complex getting ready for overtime between John Jay College and the College of Staten Island for CSI potentially their final game against the CUNY Athletic Conference School as they will end their season on Saturday against NYU. Dolphins 5-0 against CUNY Athletic Conference teams this season. They've outscored those opponents by a very wide margin. Same thing for John Jay. And right now, if it ends up in a 1-1 draw, Joe, they would finish the season both undefeated in conference play. But, you know, the women in blue and white are itching for that game-winning goal and to end their seasons undefeated in the CUNY Athletic Conference.
Well, after a very back-and-forth first half in this game, John Jay really seized control out of the gate in half number 2, really dominated possession and had most of the opportunities early on in that second half. But come about the 20 minutes to go mark, CSI really stepped up their play on the attack, ultimately scored a goal off of the free kick that was placed right in front of goal. It bounced in front of Lisbeth Aparicio, who got a head on it and put it over Erica Estro. That knotted up the score at 1-1. John Jay did have some very good opportunities late following the Dolphins' goal. 2 tremendous saves by Samantha Boudreau. One on a shot that would have found its way just under the crossbar. Another on a breakaway kept the score even, and that's how we find ourselves here in overtime.
So how they'll work it is 10 minutes in each direction A goal wins it. It's a golden goal scenario. I should mention that John Jay does have one final CUNYAC game to play. That'll be against CCNY before the tournament officially starts. But for the CSI Dolphins, they haven't lost a CUNY game since 2017. John Jay will have the opening kick of overtime. If you've been watching this game, you welcome the sunshine going away as it's eliminated that glare that we've been getting. But here at the field, it has gotten extremely colder. I don't want to say extremely. It's probably pleasant for the women playing in the game, but
I find that hard to believe.
Bodies flying everywhere as John Jay comes out with it. Bloodhounds had a couple of breakaway opportunities right at the very end in the last 3 minutes of the game. Both times turned aside, once off of a save by Boudreau, the other off of a defensive scramble by DeLoya. John Jay certainly had the better of possession in the second half, but Dolphins were able to score a goal. This is Madrid overlapping. John Jay with numbers now. Bellotti yields to Healy. Healy, quick touch now. They're looking for Bellotti near the corner flag. Bellotti. Now the defense converging on her. This is Healy in the middle and just spoiled wide. Another golden opportunity, that time for John Jay. Offside, I believe, was the call, Joe.
It was the call. The flag was up immediately. The whistle was blown, and shot missed anyway, high and wide, but prime scoring position there for Katie Healy, looking to make it 2 on the game as we'll get another look at it. That ball found its way by DeLoya and another Bloodhound onto the foot of Healy, but she was positioned offsides.
Yeah. But even if she was offside, that ball went high above the crossbar and would have been a golden moment of the game, literally, as it represents the golden goal. Foul whistled against John Jay. The Dolphins will reboot here with some numbers coming up. Yagos, Mignon, Palinkovic, Mitchell, Long, Aparicio now from the left side. Cherko once again will get into it. Line driver. First touch by Palinkovic, but weathered away by the defense. It's Golden. Another foot race now. Robledo locked in a foot race here. DeLoya getting back. It is put on goal. Samantha Boudreau got a foot on it, and the Dolphins are able to recoup and hit it out. You can see the John Jay bench on your screen just going ballistic as they have routinely knocked on the door. We'll get another look at it. Great save by Boudreau again.
How good has she been in this game, Dave?
There's another one that skips inside. That time for Healy, and it goes out of bounds.
This has easily been the best game I've seen from Boudreau this season, and that's in part because she hasn't had to work very hard in many of the Dolphins' matchups here at the CSI Soccer Complex, but she has been challenged throughout this game and has been up to the task just about every time. The only blemish was the penalty kick, and not much you can do with many of those. Always a very difficult spot to be in as a goalkeeper, and certainly not a save that any goalkeeper can be expected to make on a regular basis.
Battle here as Healy comes down with it in direction of Madrid, who has to back up. Dolphins have been caught a number of times, victimized by the offside trap and the odd man rush. That's something that the Dolphins tried to do repeatedly in the game's first half. And here comes another opportunity for John Jay, and that time off the one hopper, Boudreau's able to field the cross.
A lot of play to our left thus far. Here in this overtime, the ball has not crossed midfield to our right yet. We'll see if Bracic can change that right here and turn with it.
Yeah, Dolphins with really little to no possession here in the zone. But here comes Mitchell now. Mitchell tries to thread one through, can't do it. Now a quick drop off to Bracic. Bracic from an extreme angle has to double back and kicks it off the John Jay defense and out of play. There's one in the middle. Mitchell was there originally, but John Jay doing well to get it out of the zone. Aparicio now taken away from her by Golden. Golden wants to reset. Bellotti give and go to Healy. Healy gets stepped in front of by Sandor, who kicks it all the way down. This will be out of play. John Jay will have possession.
Opportunities developing quickly for the Dolphins when they've had them. Ball quickly played up the field, and after seeing her initial pass attempt knocked away, Mitchell got the ball right back and found Bracic. And when Bracic put the ball in front, there was a scramble for it. Dolphins came away with a scoring chance, but unable to come away with the shot.
So now this is Pelinkovic, who's had limited touches here in the second half and in overtime. Plays it over to Sandor, 18 versus 18. Sandor kicks it back to DeRosa. Opposite side of the field now Bracic. Bracic looking to give it a sprint. Has to double back. Plays it back again. Off of John Jay's Robledo and out of bounds. That one played up. Dropping it off. Sandor with a heavy shot that was blocked. Sandor tries to thread one through. Can't do so. John Jay now scrambling defensively, just looking to play balls out. That was a ball out of bounds. So John Jay now might look to reset quickly.
That shot by Sandor seemed like a bit of an unpleasant surprise for someone standing in its way, as every player over there had their backs turned to Sandor, and that shot caught one of them from behind.
Boudreau's season high in saves was against Montclair State. She had 12 in that game. I think she's got 9 in this one, Joe, at least by my count. I think there was a team save somewhere. It's like 7 officially. Reset by John Jay now. Interrupted by the defense. This is Golden. Golden tries to thread one through. It's long, and Boudreau is the only one there.
Another long punt by Boudreau. The wind's died down a bit, but it looks like play initially was heading back toward our left.
Now Mina Bracic waiting, now moving towards front. This is Sandor, gets away from a defender. Again, CSI continues to play with it. Good footwork there. 50-50 ball. Pelinkovic had a chance. She swept off the ball. This is Deloya using that speed. Drops one off to Yagos. Yagos yields to Aparicio. Aparicio one touch to Yagos. Now plays it over to Mignon. Mignon was looking to give it back. Yagos shanks that one. Healy plays one up. Nice job by Katie Healy to keep it in play. And there we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on Deloya, who kind of fanned on the clearance and caught Robledo instead.
Deloya comes up limping a bit. That sounded painful as both players.
Both players actually limping in much the same fashion. They'll get themselves back into it here. And
shin to shin.
Yeah.
Guard's not doing much good there, it appears.
Tucci, at the end of all this, will have an opportunity here to put one perhaps deep into CSI's box. And that one skids over to Golden, and she's offside.
I was listening for a whistle rather than looking for a flag. I didn't hear it right away, so I thought we had another opportunity for John Jay to come away with the victory right there, but the official calls offsides.
That was a quick 9 minutes of overtime here as we approach the 1 minute mark in overtime number 1. If no one wins it here in this final minute, they'll switch sides for a final 10 minutes. Mitchell plays it back to Sandor. Sandor keeps it from going out. Tries to get one over top of the defense. Can't do so. Spilled towards the middle of the field. DeRosa is there for CSI. Working against Madrid. Turns and fires one that's off the defense. Under half a minute here in overtime. Perhaps time for one last rush. Bracic earns the header. 15 seconds to go. Dolphins with a long throw in. This one will reach the box. Mignon. And that one is kicked out. Mignon went down hard against Golden. And Mignon will get up under her own power. Sandor fanned on one. And that is it for the final first overtime. We'll take a very brief break. We'll take a 2-minute respite here and get set for half number 2.
It looked like on that last play of the first overtime, Mignon may have taken a boot or a knee to the head or at least the upper body as that ball was cleared away. And John Jay found themselves in some last-second danger right there as they scrambled to knock the ball out of the box, and they were able to do so. But Mignon paid the price for it as there was no shortage of chances in that first overtime period. John Jay had the majority of them. The Dolphins did have the ball in front once. Bracic chipping it up into the air, into the center of the box, right around the dot, but no Dolphin able to put a shot toward goal. And John Jay had, I believe it was 2 or 3 shots on goal in that overtime. So a very entertaining first overtime period. And as I said, no shortage of chances for John Jay as John Jay had control early in the second half, came out in that first overtime and looked strong.
Yeah, so you can see on your screen about a minute to go before we start overtime number 2, but off your screen, Allison Ocasio, the head trainer for CSI, working on Mignon, who's now, as you can see on your screen, up under her own power and making her way towards the bench. There were no substitutions either in the overtime period, so looks like what you see is what you get as far as what's on the field. And if there's going to be a hero, it's going to be one of the 22 that are on the field now, or that were on the field to start overtime. Trying to go down the list, Joe. This, I believe, is CSI's second overtime game. They lost an overtime game to FDU Florham 2-1. That was very early in the first overtime. That was on the road.
And a late equalizer in that game as well, much like this game.
And for John Jay, I believe this is their first overtime game of the season. They're 9-6, so they have no ties and no games that were decided in overtime. So for CSI, looking for their first overtime win. Same for John Jay as we get set here. A rematch of last year's CUNYAC title game. It could end in a tie. We won't go to PKs in this one.
Trying to take a look to see if there's any changes for the Dolphins coming into the second overtime. We saw Mignon exit the field alongside the trainer.
Yeah, because Mignon is still being worked on, and Dolphins have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the field now. Here comes Palinkovic coming on. That's 10. And Mitchell is 11. So it is Angie Galan, Mike. Angie Galan has come in to replace Nicole Mignon. For John Jay, it looks to be the same 11 that left the pitch at the end of overtime, starting overtime number 2. Last-minute game planning going on. Still plenty of light here, so that's not a factor, at least at this point in the season.
The biggest impact of the lack of light has been the temperature. It has dropped precipitously since the start of the game. It was a great day for soccer when we got underway, and the sun sets over our shoulders behind the trees fairly early. So we've been in the shade for quite a while, but now the entire field is shaded as it's moved up toward the tennis bubble.
Sorry, Joe. CSI has the first touch here of the second overtime. This will be the final 10 minutes if there is no goal scorer here in this stanza. This will go in as a 1-1 tie. CSI's final game against the CUNYAC conference opponent as they get set for ECC conference play next year. And for John Jay, certainly something to hang their hat on as they look forward towards the postseason to do what no other CUNY school has done. That's either to beat or tie the defending champs. So the Bloodhounds come out with it. Healy losing it at midfield, but the Dolphins promptly turn it right back over. And now here comes John Jay the other way. This is Mulick, can't get it past DeLoya, sprinting towards it and getting a foot on it. At first was Cordero. Both teams battle. Sandor looking to play the line, gets it over to Brocic. Brocic over to Mitchell. She can't control. And losing it now over to Galan. Galan able to switch fields now. This is Aparicio. The goal scorer for Staten Island sends it up the sideline. Galan making a long sprinting run. And that one goes out of play and a goal kick. I don't think Galan played at all in the second half, Joe, if I'm not mistaken. She came in late in the first half.
We've mentioned her name several times throughout the season. I believe she was hurt for a bit, missed a few games, but when she's been in the lineup, she has been an impactful player at that forward position.
Yeah, we've seen Donnie Duca out of the lineup for quite some time for the Dolphins, and one of the Dolphins' leading scorers, Samantha Laval, who's averaging a goal per game. She has not been in the lineup in some time either. This is Mulick now. Mulick working one-on-one against Deloy. This has been a great matchup all game long, and this will be a corner kick earned by Mulick. Mulick will be the one to take it. Tucci has taken some corners as well and has done very well in her chances. But John Jay's been able to get some good opportunities here on each of these corner kicks. This is their 9th of the game. That one's put towards the top of the goal box, trying to settle it down. We're the Bloodhounds. And spilled out by the Dolphins defense. DeRosa, who's had a very busy game as well, does well that time. That's a giveaway by Sandor to Healy. Healy working to her left. Right up top now to Golden. Golden, one touch over to Benuelos. It's to Mulick. Mulick operating with the right foot, trying to get it in. Little by little, they continue. This is Madrid now with DeRosa playing it off of Madrid and out of play. Another good opportunity for John Jay. And they just haven't been able to, make that last and final play on the ball. Boudreau's been there for a couple of quality stops.
That last sequence, it looked like Madrid kind of let up a bit, had a chance to make one last run a few feet ahead. And when the ball was played through, she was a bit late getting her feet moving toward it and making that run. And the ball traveled over the touchline. Now possession with the Dolphins, quickly thrown in.
Yeah, Dolphins want to send this one deep in the Bloodhounds' territory. Would be clearance, and now having to scramble to kick that one out. I wonder if this is going to be a corner here, Joe, or a throw. Looks like Pelinkovic is going to spot it up for a throw-in. She plays it on the line. It is in the box, into the direction of Galan. Spilled out by John Jay and up over DeRosa. Now a foot race. Will it go out of bounds? It stays in. This is Golden now. Golden working to her left. Looks to thread it through. Can't find as Aparicio interrupts. Brocic was way offside. Now she gets back into the play. Galan was close there with Mena, who scrambles to punch that one out. As we approach the midway mark here of overtime number 2. Aparicio comes down with it. Can't get it through the defense. Dolphins once again putting it in John Jay territory. Brocic has to watch. She's offside here. This is Galan now. Galan. And that one played all the way through and out. So goal kick, we'll have a substitution for the Dolphins as Nicole Mignon will re-enter. So good to see Mignon back on the pitch after she was down for an extended amount of time at the tail end of the first overtime, and she replaces Galan. So Galan, Joe, is probably battling something here as her minutes have been very sparse. Dolphins have just a couple of other players on their bench as Galan makes her way gingerly over to us. And off the reset, that one's played on the far sideline. Mulick tried to keep her from going out, couldn't do so. CSI now with a chance. Once again, popped right out by Mena. CSI a little bit deeper up the pitch. Will do it again. Aparicio tries to get it into the direction of Yagos. Yagos losing it and now punched back in. And on a hop, Estro is able to control it off the spinning ball by Pelinkovic.
I mentioned earlier the potential for an unorthodox bounce. That one had some backspin on it.
Nice job by Mitchell to find Mignon. Mignon puts a laser shot on goal. The save made by Estro. And now the rebound cleared temporarily. That was a great pass by Mitchell to Mignon. Mitchell still battling. Mignon gets to it. She's spilled in the box. Nothing called. And John Jay able to clear. CSI rainbowing it all the way in. And Bracic was about 15 yards offside on the play. She never got back.
No, she didn't, Dave. She was parked at the top of the box. And when that ball came down, she gave chase, appearing as if she believed she was onside. Maybe not aware that play behind her had moved up toward midfield.
Yeah, we'll probably get another look at that replay and Mignon going down. We might even get it in slow-mo and see her break it down. Meanwhile, this is Benuelos. She tries to cross one in to Deloya. If it caught a piece of her hand, it was completely unintentional. Bracic towing it backward to Sandor. Sandor looking to reverse field in the direction of Mignon, who's played well since coming back in. Mignon, that pass was intercepted. Yagos punching it right back on John Jay's side of the field as we approach 2.5 minutes to go. Golden gives way to Cherko. Cherko punches it right back over to the Bloodhound side of the field. They pinball back and forth. And we have a whistle. It'll go out of bounds. We see a replay on that last exchange. And that one was the spinning kick by Pelinkovic. We were close. We were close. So John Jay now quickly resetting, putting a lot of numbers back. You see 9 blue jerseys behind the ball at this point as we approach 90 seconds to go. Sandor tries to thread one through the middle. Once again, another foot race. John Jay, nice defensive play there to spill that one out of play. Dolphins trying to put some pressure here in the waning moments. Bracic skips off of her. Once again, right back out of play. DeRosa. Short entry into Sandor. Sandor, foul called against Sandor. Final minute. Time for some final opportunities for both teams. Golden sees that one go over her head. Aparicio is there. She skies that one towards the sideline. Dolphins want to reset and get their white jerseys back into play. You see the scramble. Yagos plays it off the head. John Jay sees it out of bounds. 30 seconds remaining. Here in the game. And here comes Healy now. Healy getting it towards the corner flag. Drops off to Golden. Golden has to retreat, double back and get it. Mulick was in the neighborhood. 15 seconds to go. Last gasp opportunity here for both sides. Mitchell with 10 seconds. Here comes a foot race down the far side of the field. Mignon will try to get to it. It's spilled out of bounds. And, Joe, this one will go and draw.
And one of the most entertaining games we've covered on CSI Sportsnet this year as well, rivaling that matchup against Concordia, New York earlier this year here on Sportsnet. That game, a 4-3 defeat for the Dolphins. This one ends in a 1-1 tie. So both teams will remain unbeaten against the CUNYAC this year. Of course, that's John Jay's current conference, CSI's former conference. But for the Dolphins, the 1-1 tie keeps them unbeaten. In the CUNYAC, they move to, I believe, now 5-0-1, and for John Jay, it's 4-0-1. They have one game remaining against the CUNYAC this season, but as I said, a very entertaining game, a back-and-forth first half. Early in the second half, it was all Bloodhounds. The Dolphins in the final 20 minutes took control following their goal, and then a very entertaining pair of overtime periods as well. Chances for both sides, but neither team able to come away with the golden goal, and we finish with the score even at 1-1.
Yeah, so, Joe, looking back on it now, the Dolphins, they finished 6-0 in the conference last year. 2 years ago in 2017, they finished 5-0-1. And so you have to go back to 2016 to find that last conference loss, and that's the way it'll end for CSI. CSI won the CUNY Championship that year, but they lost to Lehman College during the regular season on the road. So definitely as they close this chapter of their program's history, Joe, the Dolphins can rest knowing that they ran the table in the CUNY Conference last year with all 6 wins, and they really haven't been defeated in 3 years, essentially, to a CUNY Athletic Conference team.
And that's an impressive feat in itself, of course. 4-time repeating CUNYAC champions. That run will not continue this year, of course, the Dolphins not being a part of the tournament. But if you're the John Jay College Bloodhounds, be happy with your performance in this game as well. They will, of course, be participating in the CUNYAC Championship tournament, will presumably be the number 1 seed. I don't believe that there's enough games for any other team left to overtake them. And with John Jay having one more game left, I'd have to get a look at the record of the final team they're playing. But in all likelihood, Jay, the preseason favorite, will be the number 1 seed in that tournament, and the Dolphins won't be a part of it. So they got their shot at the College of Staten Island here in today's game. A good showing for them. Had the lead until deep into the second half, but weren't able to hold on to it. Dolphins pick up the equalizer. Neither team scores in overtime, and that gives us our 1-1 final.
Sure, and if the Dolphins were eligible for the postseason, Joe, I think we feel pretty confident saying these two teams may see each other again. But for the Dolphins anyway, their CUNY run is completely over. And for John Jay, they can, again, hang their hat on a very good performance here. Joe, a performance where they outshot Staten Island 17-13 in the game. Samantha Boudreau had to be excellent in goal today. She had 8 saves. The Dolphins also, I believe, had a team save in this one where they swept the ball. I think Nicole Mignon got to a ball that was on the goal line that they swept away. They almost swept away another goal off the goal line, but Rebecca DeLoya was called for the handball, and John Jay was able to get themselves a penalty kick and the lead for a pretty good amount of time. They had the lead for 18 minutes. The Dolphins, though, with the clutch goal by Elizabeth Aparicio, her second of the season, off of the free kick by Gabrielle Churko. It was a good game. It was fairly even the entire way. Possession was in spurts. John Jay showed a great side for 110 minutes coming into CSI and earning the tie. And again, this was one of our better games here on Sportsnet.
It certainly was, and very impressive was the effort of Samantha Boudreau. I mentioned it during the game, but when all is said and done, the only goal that John Jay was able to put into the back of the net came on a penalty kick, and that one was nearly kept out of goal effectively by Rebecca DeLoya. It was kept out, but unfortunately the upper part of her arm made contact with the ball, resulting in the whistle and the penalty kick. But Boudreau was fantastic for the Dolphins in this game, and she needed to be, as John Jay gave a very strong showing and a great accounting of themselves in this one, and they came on to the College of Staten Island's home field here at the CSI Soccer Complex, played to a 1-1 tie, and that says a lot coming off of a CUNYAC championship last year where they fell 6-2. So I think they need to be very happy with their performance. I'm sure they would have liked to come out of CSI with the victory, but they'll come up just a bit short as we end in a 1-1 tie.
All right, so that'll do it for us. The next time we will be on the air will be on Saturday. It'll be the CSI women's soccer team. Once again, they will take on NYU. 12 o'clock kickoff, 11:45 pregame. The Dolphins will honor their 6 seniors prior to kickoff, so it's a game that if you can, don't listen to us. Come over to the soccer complex and cheer on your Dolphins in person. But, of course, if you can't, we'll be here side by side with you, calling all the action in what will be our final soccer coverage of the season right here on Sportsnet. So for all of us at CSI Sportsnet, for our statistician Samantha Flecker, for camera operator Joe Cusimano, for our engineer Joe Masha, and for my broadcast partner Joe Foreman, I'm David Pizzuto, wishing you a very good evening here. Once again, your final score, 1-1 between CSI and John Jay. We'll see you soon.